Philistines stood on a mountain on one side, and Israel stood on a mountain on the other side, with a valley between them. And a champion went out from the camp of the Philistines named Goliath. He had a bronze helmet on his head, and he was armed with a coat of scales. He had bronze armor on his legs and bronze javelin between his shoulders. The staff of his spear was like a weaver's beam, and the iron spearhead weighed 125 pounds. He stood and cried out to the armies of Israel and said to them,
"Why have you come out to line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine and you the servants of Saul? Choose a man for yourselves and let him come down to me. If he is able to fight with me and kill me, then we will be your servants. But if I prevail against him and I kill him, then you shall be our servants and serve us."
And the Philistines said,
"I defy the armies of Israel this day. Give me a man that we may fight."
When Saul and all of Israel heard these words, they were discouraged and afraid.
I am responsible.
Now David left his supplies in the hand of the supply keeper, ran to the army, and came and greeted his brothers. Then as he talked with them, there was the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, coming up from the armies of the Philistines, and he spoke according to the same words, and David heard them. The men were dreadfully afraid, so David spoke to the men who stood by him, saying, "What shall be done for the man who kills this Philistine and takes away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God?" His oldest brother heard when he spoke to the men, and he said, "Why'd you come down here? And with whom have you left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know your pride and the insolence of your heart, and now you come down here to see the battle." And David said, "What have I done now? Don't I have a good reason to be here?" Now when the words which David spoke were heard, they were reported to King Saul, and he sent for him. Then David said to Saul, "Don't let any man's heart fail because of him. Your servant will go and fight with this Philistine." And Saul said to David, "You're not able to go up against this Philistine. You're a kid, and he's been fighting since he was a kid." But David said, "Your servant used to watch his father's sheep, and when a lion or a bear came and took a lamb out of the flock, I went after it and struck it. I delivered the lamb from its mouth, and when it rose up against me, I caught it by its beard, and I struck it, and I killed it. Your servant has killed both lion and bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine will be like one of them, seeing that he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord who delivered me from the paw of the lion and the paw of the bear, he'll deliver me from the hand of this Philistine." And Saul said, "Go, and may the Lord be with you." So Saul clothed David in his armor. David fastened his sword to the armor and tried to walk, but he couldn't. It didn't fit him properly. And David said, "I can't walk with these. I gotta take these off." So then David took his staff in his hand, and he chose for himself 5 smooth stones from the brook. And when Goliath looked around and saw David, he belittled him because he was just a child, ruddy and good-looking. And so the Philistine said,
"Am I a dog that you come to me with sticks? Come to me and I will give your flesh to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field."
And David said, "You come to me with a sword and spear and a javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of armies of Israel, whom you've defied. This day the Lord will deliver you into my hand, and I'll strike you down and take your head from you." So David hurried and ran toward the army to meet the Philistine. He put his hand in his bag and took out a stone and slung it and struck the Philistine in his forehead, so that the stone sank into his forehead, and he fell on his face to the earth. David prevailed over the Philistine. And there was no sword in the hand of David, so he ran, stood over the Philistine, and took his sword, and drew it out of his sheath, and killed him, and cut off his head with it.